All right, today we are cracking open the playbook for engineering a truly viral software launch. We're talking about the high-stakes strategies you need to get millions of eyeballs and, more importantly, actual users on day one, right from the moment you hit publish. And we're going to start right here with this brutally honest but absolutely essential piece of advice. Before you do anything else, you have to burn this into your brain. Your launch isn't about you. It's not about your journey or your hard work. It's about solving a problem for them. This is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. Which brings us to a really uncomfortable truth. You could have built the most incredible, world-changing product, but honestly, in today's world, that's just not enough. You need a launch strategy that is just as innovative as the product itself.
And this right here, this is the biggest misconception, the place where so many launches fail. Founders pour everything into making a perfect video, thinking that's the finish line. But here's the secret. The video is just the ammunition. The part that really matters, the thing that determines whether you win or lose, is the distribution strategy you build around it.
Okay, so let's talk about that video. Think of it less as an explainer and more as a viral Trojan horse. It's the vehicle that's going to carry your entire message past the gates and into the city. So it has to be engineered perfectly. So a killer launch video really breaks down into 4 parts. First, you hit them with a bold, revolutionary claim, something that makes them stop scrolling. Then, right away, you show them the wow moment. You visually prove you can back up that claim. For a new brand, you've got to sprinkle in social proof. Who's backing you? Who are your first users? This builds instant trust. And you wrap it up with a high-value giveaway, which, as we're about to see, is way more than just a gimmick. And underlying that bold claim, you need this one critical ingredient: novelty. You have to remember, people are scrolling through feeds looking for what's new, what's next, what's going to change the game. Your positioning has to scream new. And this is a perfect example of what I mean. On the left, you've got a tool that helps you rank better. Snooze. Nobody cares. But on the right, the world's first AI SEO team to get your brand ranked #1. See the difference? It's the same tool, but the positioning on the right is exciting, it's specific, and it feels like the future. Okay, so you've got this perfectly crafted video. Now, you don't just post it and pray. No, you engineer virality. You basically force the algorithm to show it to as many people as humanly possible. To do that, you have to understand how a platform like X really works. It's basically a 2-step process. First is sourcing. This is what gets your post onto the For You page in the first place. The main trigger for that? A retweet. But then there's ranking, which is what pushes your post to the very top of the feed. The key to that is a reply. But here's the secret sauce. It's a reply that you, the author, reply back to. That conversation is gold. And this is where that giveaway becomes a tactical masterpiece. You dangle this amazing carrot, a free tool, a guide, whatever. To get it, people have to retweet your post, which triggers sourcing, and they have to comment, which sets you up to reply and trigger ranking. It is a simple, genius way to manufacture the exact signals the algorithm is looking for, and you're capturing leads the whole time. So you've hacked the algorithm on your main post. But if you want a truly massive launch, you need to bring in the big guns. You need an amplification army. And I'm not talking about asking a couple of friends to share your post. A real big league launch involves coordinating anywhere from 30 to over 100 influencers, all posting in a coordinated wave within the first hour or two. The goal is to create an inescapable storm of conversation. The best way to think about this is the club promoter analogy, right? You pay the influencers to get the party started, to create a line around the block. Their initial paid push creates so much noise and FOMO that it pulls in everyone else organically. You're basically seeding the virality. And you don't just tell them, hey, share this. You give them proven formats. One of the best is the founder's story. You have an influencer tell this compelling, impressive story about the founder. It builds instant credibility and makes people desperate to know more. Another amazing format is the listicle. This is where an influencer, ideally one who's in your target market, breaks down exactly how they plan to use your new tool in their own business. It makes it super practical and translates features into real-world applications that people immediately get. And finally, you've got the classic us versus them. You position your product directly against a giant, a well-known name like ChatGPT. You're basically borrowing their brand recognition to explain what you do, and then you immediately show how you're better in specific ways. People love a good showdown.
So, you have the video, you've hacked the algorithm, and you've got your influencer army ready. That's how you have a good launch. But to have a legendary, unforgettable launch, you need to add one final ingredient: the secret sauce. And that ingredient is a very carefully deployed bit of what's called rage bait. Now, this is not about being a troll. It's a calculated tactic. You use subtle, polarizing statements to get a strong emotional reaction. Because let's be honest, on the internet, nuance gets ignored, but strong opinions drive conversation.
This is a perfect, subtle example from a launch for a company called Slash. Just that little phrase, non-Mumbai support. Wow. And 2 words, it tapped into this massive, unspoken frustration people have with outsourced customer service. It was polarizing, it got people arguing, and it drove hundreds of thousands of extra views from the debate alone. Genius.
And that's really the point. Most tech marketing is just vanilla. It's safe, it uses the same buzzwords, and tries desperately not to offend anyone. The source material calls it neutered. In a world that is drowning in boring content, being willing to have an edge, to be bold, that's a huge competitive advantage.
Which really leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Look at your own launch plans, your own marketing, and be honest. Are you making bold claims and taking smart risks to stand out, or are you playing it safe? Because if this playbook teaches us anything, it's that in the game of viral launches, playing it safe is the fastest way to be ignored.